I've had to grow up wondering if I'll even get to grow up. Would I make it to 12 unlike Tamir Rice, 14 unlike Emmett Till, or 15 unlike Dwayne Christian? And now I'm asking the question, will I be alive at 19 like Devontae Miller, but badly injured, or 26 unlike Breonna Taylor and DeAndre Campbell? The list goes on and on.
Well, that was Cameron Davis, a high school student from Markham, Ontario, who gave that very same speech at an anti-racism rally earlier this summer. And since that event, well, he has posted it on YouTube. He's had tens of thousands of views. And tonight, another video from Cameron will be featured in our CBC News special, Being Black in Canada. And to talk about his message, we're now joined by Cameron Davis in Markham, Ontario. Cameron, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us today.
No problem. Nice to see you too.
Listen, I want to begin with the portion of your speech that we just began with, the list of young African Americans and Black Canadians who have been killed or brutalized for the color of their skin. What's it like for you to see that kind of racism reinforced time and time again?
It's difficult and it has a toll on my emotions. To this day, I haven't seen the George Floyd video because I don't want to live in fear or see those or have those emotions become a burden on me. Because personally, and I talked about it with my parents, we feel that if we see that video and if we watch it and it brings a toll on us, the people are winning. The racists are winning, and they have a power over us that is negative energy. And I'm a pretty optimistic guy and I'm a pretty positive guy, and I don't want that energy at all. So I haven't seen the video yet, and I don't think I will soon, but I know that it's a horrible thing, and I know what happened, and it just sparked me to make positive change.
Yeah. Here you say you're a positive guy, and yet you're also very worldly because, you know, in the same video, you talk in part about having to think twice when you leave your home. And you know, you live in an affluent part of the Greater Toronto area, you live in the town of Markham, but still you say you have to think twice when you leave your home, you have to think about how you dress, how you act. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, the main thing that I have to be aware of is what's in my knapsack whenever I leave my house. I have to be aware of if any of my hygiene products or any of my phone may be mistaken for a weapon, like my own Afro pick that it's used to comb my hair, because I have to look proper when I'm out of the house, right? It's a burden on top of a burden, and that's systemic racism, because I have to be aware of what I look like, and then in order to be aware of what I look like, I have to be aware of what I have in my bag to make sure I look good. And those both can become problems if a miscommunication occurs or an altercation happens.
And to build on that, this is about perceptions and racism that people attach to the color of your skin rather than the items that you happen to have in your backpack or the hoodie that you're wearing, because you even say you can't even pull the hood over your head for fear that that would get you into trouble or worse, endanger your life.
Yeah.
Well, tell us.
I have to be aware of...
Yeah, talk to us about that, because that's a clear contrast to say, white kids in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I know that if I have a hood in my hoodie and if I'm walking in the street with that on, I'm sending a message, or not even sending a message, but people will perceive me as ghetto or gangster, and that means I'm fitting into the stereotype. And if me walking, which is horrible, but if me walking makes other people feel threatened and feel uncomfortable, one, that's a horrible thing, but two, it's better to be safe than sorry, and it's better that I don't risk my life because of something as small as that, and so horrible. But I have to be aware of of if I do wear my hood on my hoodie, or if I do play my music loud, or if I am riding my bike. I have to be aware of who's watching me, and I have to be aware of how I may be perceived as a threat.
Yeah, or even this idea that, you know, if any kid walked down the street, and you were touching upon this in your speech, that if they had a cell phone in their front pocket, people would think, oh, that kid has a cell phone. But when you're black in this country, sometimes it leads to misperceptions that could put you in danger.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. You know, listening to your speech, it does touch on so many painful realities. And I do wonder, how hard is it for you to talk about this, talking about the racism you and other racialized people face? Does this get you down? Does this get you sad, angry? What does it do to you?
It doesn't necessarily get me down. It's a horrible topic, and I don't think, there should be no need to talk about it, because this shouldn't be happening at all. That's the first thing. But since it is happening and we do have to talk about it, personally, I'm not uncomfortable talking about it because I've educated myself on the topic. I experienced the topic, and I know what I'm talking about. And I feel like if I can educate others and I can inspire others to switch sides or continue fighting for the cause that we're fighting, then I think I'm making that's an act of positive change, and people joining is another act of positive change.
And you know, I think parents of racialized kids would like to think that their children are being helped along by educators. But you know, you shared an example because that's clearly not always the case. Because you got a low grade from one teacher for writing that racism is actually a reality in this country. Talk to us about that.
Yeah, so it was a culminating project, and my teacher said that racism didn't exist in Canada. And I was shocked because I was like, my experiences are real. My day-to-day life is real, and I experience this on a daily basis. It's subconscious. I have to be aware of what I put in my bag. I have to be aware of how I look when I exit my home. And you're telling me that doesn't exist in Canada. So I got my parents involved, got my other teacher involved, got my principal involved. And like I said in the speech, I made sure that changes happened. And I'm fearful for other kids who are too shy to speak up. And I'm fearful for kids who believe what the teacher told them. And if those kids are listening to this now, I want you guys to understand that it's okay to speak up and it's okay to share your mind, share your experiences, because they don't know and they're not educated on the topic, and which is horrible again. But if they're not educated on the topic, you're going to have to be the one to teach them.
What does it say to you about the education teachers are lacking? What does it say to you about the education that adults are lacking in this country when it comes to racism and their ability to take it on and eliminate it?
People usually use the excuse that there's no racism in Canada because there's no concrete examples, right? There's no actual proof. But doing some research and doing some very heavy research and visiting places, it's you can see that one, there's racism in Canada, and two, there's lots of Black Afro-Canadian history in Canada. So I think that being able to incorporate those things into the school system will help educate adults and educate teachers and educate youth on the topic. And yeah, education is key.
Well, you know, Cameron, teachers come in many forms, not always necessarily professionally a teacher, but teachers come in many forms and in many ages, and you are teaching many people. Thank you for this. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me.
And that's Cameron Davis from Markham, Ontario.